Air condition? No, it's okay. Be patient. Be patient. Visualization too. What do you call it?
Ice cubes.
Yeah. Ice cubes, all the visualization. Heart, hello. Compare hello is nothing. Anyway, how are you guys?
Good.
Guys, girls? Even we said, how are you guys? We can include everybody or?
Yeah.
Everybody, yeah.
Flying.
We said, how are you guys? We said, boy, girl, all that. Anyway. So, we study to how you achieve enlightenment, right? Everybody go there, how you achieve enlightenment. Also, how you be happy person, calm down person, right? But if you maybe we do always pray, oh, I want to calm down, I want to achieve enlightenment, I want to be a happy person. It's the walk, do you think? If Buddha wanted blessing, okay, he gives them water. Not that kind, right? We need to transform our negative minds. Right? Cultivate positive minds. Compassion, bodhicitta, loving kindness, and passion, subdued, angry, jealous, hatred. Right? Then, now I think most people know how you subdue negative minds, how you cultivate positive minds. I think everybody, most people know. Right? If he doesn't do effectively, effectively practice. We did the practice. Most people know, right? Even, we read a lot of books. And even he or she doesn't matter. When you, before study Buddhism, enter today, your mind's same, then not much. It doesn't do much practice. They show us. If something different, better, maybe worse, you know it. Before and now, the worst, then this is no good. That side. And they look good, maybe. 백개는 날 보세요. 이만 어디서 날 보? 데서 가봐. I don't know.
Long nose.
Knowledgeable.
I don't know. long patient, big patient.
Long nose means that you're more patient?
Yeah, this I think maybe come there. Maybe my knowledge that I don't know that.
Is it a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a good thing, no.
Good thing.
Not easy angry. How you say English? Not easy angry person?
Patient.
Be patient?
Yeah, maybe laid back.
Long suffering.
Easy going.
Just chill.
Chill?
Yeah.
How you say?
Chill.
Chill.
Chill out.
Relax.
Like cold.
Relax.
It means
Chill out.
cold, but
Yeah,
it's slang.
yeah. Yeah, even you study, first you study here, now maybe you here. Maybe same chair. What's it? Unchair? Unchair means opposite chair, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure, yeah, I'm chill.
Unchair maybe.
Unchill.
maybe new words.
Okay. Yeah, make new words.
No. Same here, chair not same speaking here, then not much to practice, even you do maybe 12 years retreat. It doesn't much transform your mind. Therefore everybody try to little bit every time, first a small thing, little big thing, It's all good. Other people, whatever they say, whatever they do, doesn't matter. They're not our business. Our own minds to calm down, be patient, what's it, chill?
Chill.
Chill person. Maybe this is not bad.
No, it's good.
I don't think so.
Ask Deborah.
Not precise, but okay.
Little broken.
Not super precise.
It's like for young people use this word.
Yeah.
Slang.
Chill.
Slang or idiom.
Don't be agitated.
Don't
Don't be agitated.
means what?
Easy going, I think,
Yeah.
is fine.
Relax.
Yeah, easy is more important.
Easy,
Yeah. Everybody need to easy the but if we have to easy, we have to do ourselves. Otherwise, other people cannot do it easy for us.
Mm.
Therefore, also we are samsara, not always perfect. Sometimes very difficult situation. Sometimes everything is very smooth. Everything is smooth. They say, "Oh, I'm very good practice. I am not. I'm very perfect person." Then it is good, but I don't know. When we have such a very difficult situation, then we have to be very careful. Otherwise, we lose to our mind, follow the negative minds. Very easy. Therefore, something up, something down, it's okay. Right? This is everybody. Purpose to practice Dharma is to choose mind. Anyway, we call it little calm down, little happy, more relaxed person, Even if you chill out or not, this may be too far away, but a little bit calm down, a little bit relaxed person is more important. That was we call it. Even if you practice study Dharma, they benefit, but not really good study, not really good practice. Therefore, whatever other people say, it doesn't matter. Our chair, our mind, our give, our teachers, right? Suzuki and Suzuki, correct?
We are our own teachers.
Yeah, we are our own teacher, right? It's very important. Usually always there in the monastery, they disciplines, big mala, they really, they show us very rough for this. You are your own teachers. When I do teacher, it's not easy during that day. That day he beat. He said, you all the monks keep your roles. You are your own teacher. When I come to in front of you, that day is not easy. You see, that day he uses his mala. anyway, very important to we are everybody their own teachers more important. Then also very important to study. If he doesn't study, he doesn't know. Then if you doesn't know and you jump the water, you doesn't know if when you jump the water, maybe die. You doesn't know because you doesn't know you jump. Then you're not very surprised. If you really know you jump the water, you die. Then you jump and you say they're crazy, right? Crazy means you doesn't control your mind. Then we, therefore, which was negative things, which was positive things, was we study. Then we study, we know really this is negative things, we jump there. Then even people doesn't say crazy that way. It's really, close. Therefore, everybody important to study, know what is positive, what is negative. Then we follow negative things, what result. We follow positive things, what result. Then we check, we choose the result. Right? Therefore now we go to study the conjoined text. But if you want to achieve that, you have to go this all, you have to achieve this all the minds. Not just study, not just take books, you have to realization, that kind of minds. Therefore we really talk for a couple past weeks. Now we study to Mahayana heroes part. Super part.
Superior.
Yes. Okay. Then my is go to back to his own house. He lived there. Now we switch. 제가 딱 가서만 좀 대신지 소유를 나눠서 세상에 맞 소름 들으니까.
So last time we talked about the part of accumulation and part of preparation already, right?
아니 돈 나도 다시 해야 돼. 난 돈 가서만 넣지.
What page are you? Andy? What
I
page?
don't know, which text are you looking at? I have too many texts already.
What page did you stop at last time?
We were on page 21 or 22, depending on the...
Page 20 and 22?
조선 법의 사이트니 가서만 들었잖아. 장선 법의 사이트니.
So last time we talked about the superior bodhisattva. Superior bodhisattva's ground path.
장선 법의 사이트니 가서는 이제 지금 돈이 못하게 쉬어야 되겠으니 장선 법의 메도를 장선 법의 사이트니 인생.
So
what's the definition of the Buddhist? What's the public?
So
Definition of.
Any other questions?
So there's the definition of a ground of a bodhisattva superior, right? It's just a clear realization of a bodhisattva superior, which is conjoined with the great compassion and the wisdom that realizes emptiness in direct perception.
22.
22, right? Page 22. Towards the end.
Yeah, paragraph
Number 26, yeah.
26.
26, yeah.
Everybody different tests.
Page 22, number 26.
아니 장선 파바세 때 가디 kuto는 다 장선 통한 남 도바는 장선 파바세 잖아.
So when do you become bodhisattva superior? Is when you achieve this the Mahayana path of seeing. So the moment you achieve the Mahayana path of seeing, and you becomes a bodhisattva superior.
샹선 토너다 고는 이가다 샹선 법에 양심 생각이라 그래서.
So both the Mahayana part of seeing and Mahayana part of meditation are the superior paths.
아니 샹저고 셈 gelab 된베기. 다 샹선 토너 토피. 샹선 토너 토피. 아니 semchen 따라가 샹선 봐봤어. 샹선 토너 토피. 다 semchen 나다 샹선 봐봤어.
So if you are a sentient being who have achieved the Mahayana path of seeing, then you are, a bodhisattva superior.
나 상제 봐봐도 샹선 토너 토피 강사를 되나다 샹선 삼방 가지려고 말이지. 샹선 봐봐.
So, for example, a Buddha superior, have achieved the bodhisattva path of seeing, but will not call, a bodhisattva superior.
아니 상제 봐봐라 그래서.
So he's called a Buddha superior.
그래나다 샹선 봐봐서야 돼. 같이 샹선 토너도 보는 딱 강을 내리는 가다지 말했어.
So, for him or her to be a bodhisattva superior, has to be either abiding in the path of the bodhisattva path of seeing or bodhisattva path of meditation.
좋아. 다 양아치 샹저 선바인 봐봐인지 있나? 샹저 봐봐 이거 그래서나? 아 대고 말했어. 샹저 선바인 봐봐인지 있나?
So if you are a bodhisattva and a superior being, then is it necessary to be a bodhisattva superior being? Again, it's not necessary.
아니 다 인티 자주에 또 방에서 소리 배나 샹저 처음 주는 강을 슈비 강가디 샹저 선바인 봐봐야 되나? 샹저 봐봐.
So a practitioner on the Mahayana path of accumulation or path of preparation, who has preceded the state of arhat, of the hearers or social realizer, is a bodhisattva, is a superior being, but is not a bodhisattva superior.
좋아. 다 가르치는 샹선 봐봐 말세나? 좋아하고 싶다나?
So why is he or she not a bodhisattva superior? If I were to ask you a question. Why is he or she not a bodhisattva superior? You understand that kind of person?
Just,
Right.
would you just say the sentence you said before you asked the question?
So, a bodhisattva on the path of accumulation or path of preparation, who has preceded, so who has gone through before, the hearers, the arhat of the hearers or social realizers, right? So that kind of bodhisattva on the path of accumulation or path of preparation is a bodhisattva, is a superior being, but it's not a bodhisattva superior being, right? So if is that true? Is that right?
Yeah.
It's a bodhisattva, it's a superior being, but it's not a bodhisattva superior being, right? So why is he or she not a bodhisattva superior being?
Because it's not conjoined with great compassion?
No.
Why?
Because of Mahayana path.
Because of Mahayana path?
Hello?
Yeah, because he's not in the path, on the path of seeing or meditation, or Mahayana path of seeing and meditation.
그래서
대신 돈 없는 거는 걸어 많이 사.
That's perfect.
Could you repeat that answer? I just want to get the,
Yeah.
그래? 그러나 샹선 봐봐야나 샹선 토놈도 고놈 가라 내리기 가다고 그랬어.
So we're talking about bodhisattva on the path of accumulation or path of preparation, right? So that kind of bodhisattva who has preceded the arhat, ship of hearer or social realizer, is not a bodhisattva superior because he or she is not on either path, on the Mahayana path of seeing or Mahayana path of meditation. So that means if you are a bodhisattva superior, then you have to be either on the Mahayana path of seeing or Mahayana path of meditation. So that's what Ali was saying, right?
Yeah.
Okay?
I was confused. I thought superior meant that you have a direct perception of emptiness. I guess I always equated
No, he
that,
said
so
at
that's
the
not
beginning,
correct.
He said the person is a superior. And is also a bodhisattva, but they are not a bodhisattva superior.
Yeah, that's correct.
Until he reaches the
So
point.
you
That's
see
like
the difference?
a compound term, bodhisattva superior, versus the two individual terms, superior and bodhisattva.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hyphenated.
you got it?
No, I'm sorry, no. And then when they're together, the
The bodhisattva superior is somebody on the Mahayana grounds who has achieved the path of seeing or path of meditation. If they haven't, then they are not a bodhisattva superior. They might be a superior of some other ground, like the Hinayana grounds or something, but they are not a
they just pass through that gate. Okay. All right, I'll just view it like that. All right, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
다 나도 들어서 다 이제 첨보도 되면 이제 첨보를 꼭 상식 생각을 다 이해를.
So what Deleuze said is because it's not conjoined with compassion.
Great compassion.
Great compassion. Of course, they have great compassion, right? So the bodhisattva on the path of accumulation or path of preparation, they are bodhisattva. So they must have
That's right.
great
By
compassion.
definition.
그래? 다 그러고 있어.
I was just about to say,
오케이, 어디서 기다려서. 다 나도 다 워낙 다 가진 파바에서 파바 당도 되잖아. 파바. 그 가진 파바나 아니 그 뭐만 이들 자체 공부도 뒤 또봐 많이 하는데 다 대가지고 손도 좀 가르치고 해서 파바 이용을 해서 공부에 파바 냐면서.
So that kind of bodhisattva, who on the path of accumulation or path of preparation, who has gone through before, the arhatship of the healer or soldier rather, is a superior being, right? It's a superior being because he didn't degenerate, the path of the healer's path or the soldier rather's path without degenerating those paths. He went through all those paths. He passed all those paths. And then he entered into the Mahayana path, right? So therefore he is a spirit being. So he's a spirit, he is a spirit being, but he's not the bodhisattva spirit being.
오케이?
Okay.
I very clear.
Thank you.
단단히 생기더라도 와 이제 친구는 돈인 것을 통해 상스템 법행이 돌아가면 상스템 상절 생명이 돌아나 다 그래 단단한 것도 잘 보고 잘 그러세 상스템 법에 서 있는데 상스템 법행이 돌아가는 거야 상스템 법에 돼 상스템 토놈 공 가르다 다 내리고 그러더라.
So as you can see in the definition, right? So definition in every part, every word of the definition has to meet for it to be that which we are defining, now, right? So here we are defining the bodhisattva superior. So in order for that person to be a bodhisattva superior, it has to have all these parts of the definition. This is a clear realization of bodhisattva superior. And so if it says clear realization of bodhisattva, then you can say, the bodhisattva on the path of accumulation or path of preparation who has preceded, the arhatship of hero or soldier, and then they can be a bodhisattva superior also. If you only say bodhisattva, if you only say clear realization of bodhisattva instead of saying clear realization of bodhisattva superior. And so it says, if you say clear realization of bodhisattva, and without saying the superior, bodhisattva, which is conjoined with a great compassion and a wisdom that realizes emptiness in direct perception, then you can say bodhisattva on the path of accumulation, and the path of accumulation or path of preparation who has preceded the arhatship of hero or soldier rather, mixed with this definition, right? Because it has, because they were arhatship, they were arhat of the heroes or soldier, therefore they have the direct realization of emptiness. And they have, of course, they are bodhisattvas, so they have great compassion in their mind, right? So they have this conjoined with both compassion, great compassion, and the direct perception of the emptiness. But the only thing that's missing is the superior. It's not a bodhisattva superior, right? So the definition, the part of that definition, which says superior, is very important because that excludes that kind of bodhisattva on the path of accumulation or path of preparation, who preceded the hardship of hero or socializers to be a bodhisattva superior. That excludes it.
Definition is a little bit, one word, very big meaning. If you miss one, just one verse, then big meaning. Even usually we hear not big meaning to that. When in monasteries, big debate, big debate terms. If you miss a little single word, then you lost. Very easy. therefore this ta shita jana chi koda tela ta te shano papi saiti ta tela na ane satongo rabda gavani niva chamosina ta kanji ta sachuyo resi wa.
And so then it talks about the division, right? How many divisions are there on the Bodhisattva superior ground? There are 10 grounds, right? We are from the very joyful, the second ground, stainless, the third ground, radiant, and so forth.
What teach that? What that thing man to chiman no shen do. Ye was so kama matin pejan do was. He order catching finish on was what.
And so these are the 10 grounds. It's the name, different name of the 10 grounds, right? This is mentioned here in the text. And then after that is in this next paragraph. It says if someone says, so the definition of the first ground is, and so and so. So if someone were to say that, so then this is again to check whether what someone said is the correct definition of that. So the definition of each ground, will come later clearly. We don't have to rush for that now. So can you read the definition of someone? If someone says, right? The definition of the first ground is an exalted wisdom of the first ground that is governed by the higher perception of generosity. It says this is incorrect because such an exalted wisdom of the first ground does not exist. So, pay good attention to the definition, right? If someone were to say, this is the definition of the first ground, it says an exalted wisdom of the first ground that is governed by the higher perception of generosity.
Perfection, it says.
Sorry, higher perfection of generosity.
Okay. 근데 이다다디 되게 되게 말해. 되게 샤셔서 봐요 말해. 진비 냠는 되게 진비 냠는 토비가 다 샤셔서 요 말했는데라 도와서. 이때다 로나도 진비 냠는 매비시다. 진비 파시 매비시다 도와서.
So it says higher perfection of generosity, right? And then here, our one system saying this is incorrect because such an exalted wisdom of the first ground does not exist. This follows because a person of the first ground who has attained the perfection of generosity does not exist. And this follows because the perfection of generosity on the path of learning does not exist.
Okay.
So it only exists in the path of normal learning. So in the path of learning, it doesn't exist. It only the perfection. When you say perfection, when you perfect the generosity, it's only when you achieve enlightenment. You cannot perfect while you are still learning. That's what it is saying. So when you say perfection of generosity, that doesn't exist in the path of learning. So Bodhisattva on the first ground is still on the learning path, right? So therefore,
path learn is everything up to Buddhahood?
Up to normal learning path.
Path of meditation.
Everything.
Up to the path of normal learning. So that's when basically when you achieve enlightenment.
Okay. Now this definition is a little different. Okay, don't confuse. That order. Not to pass ye Yamlen Habar Matuchi. Paji and Jimmy Paji, Yamlen Habara to be Satamishit,
So now here comes our own system. So this is the actual definition of the first ground. Right? It says an exalted wisdom of the first ground which has not attained the higher practice of the perfection of ethics and above, but which has attained the higher practice of the perfection of generosity from within the 10 perfections. So what difference did you see? This is our one system. This is the correct definition, right? The earlier one is not correct. And so now what difference did you see here? Can you notice the difference?
Well,
it is something to do with within the 10 perfections, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know exactly what it means, but it feels as if the difference is within the 10 perfections. So, it's
So
something
you mean in the earlier definition they didn't mention about the 10 perfections?
No.
I think it says like
they didn't mention exactly those words.
I think Deborah was saying something.
Yeah, well, it's in the first definition, they've attained the perfection of generosity. In the second definition, second definition is the higher practice of generosity, but hasn't attained the perfection of it.
That's right. Yeah, so yeah, that's the difference, right? Yeah. The one difference, but there may be another difference also, right? That's one difference. Buddhism 집에 퍼진 랍샤스. 니바들은 집에 퍼진 냐면 랍샤스. 는 체라버스 랍샤스. 다 되게 버려서.
The other is implied.
당보들다 그래. 집에 파신 다 냐면 전부 선발이란 거 왔어. 다 나바들다 냐면 도바서 다 관심 맞지. 다다 데발라야 되고 따바데 놓을 거. 가지 강보 당보들 나와 있나? 아니 사통보라 집에 파신 냐면 요거 그랬어. 집에 파신 요거 집에 파신. 집에 파신 그 선발이다 집에 파신 요거 왔어.
당보가 안 돼.
집에 파시지. 집에 파시 체라고 생각해도 다 집에 파시 체라고 쓰나 집에 파시 때 요거를 왔어.
가지들라.
가지들라. 가지들다 파시 체라고 쓰나 생각을 어디 다 상식 쓰는 거지. 아니 대집에 파시를 쓰나 파시 때 요거를 왔어. 다 이발라 집에 파시 냠len 도받는 다 냠len다 지오래. 모두 다른 제조를 왔어.
So when someone's definition, it says governed by the higher profession of generosity, right? And so if you are governed by the higher profession of generosity, then you have to possess a profession of generosity in your mind. Whereas in the second one, it says which attend the higher practice of the profession of ethics. So you don't have the profession of profession of generosity. You don't have the profession of generosity, but you can practice. You can practice generosity. You can practice generosity. You will not have the perfection of, you will have not perfected the generosity, but you can practice to perfect the generosity. So that's what it says. So you have that practice of doing the generosity practice, but you don't have that perfection of generosity at that time. So, for example, right now, we assuming that we are not bodhisattva, but we can still practice bodhicitta, right? We can practice bodhicitta, but we don't have to be bodhisattva, like that. So if it is a perfection of any of the 10 perfections, if it's the ground of the 10 perfections, then it has to be only Buddha's ground, and it only has to be Buddha ground. But in order to do the practice of any of these 10 perfections, you don't have to be Buddha. So if the mind is conjoined with the bodhicitta, then there has to be bodhicitta in that mind, right? If the mind is conjoined with bodhicitta, then that mind has to have bodhicitta in it, right? So it says the first ground that conjoins, that possesses that is governed by the higher perfection of generosity. So you can say possess. So if you possess it, you have to have it, right? So in our own system's definition, it doesn't say you possess it. You have attained the higher practice. You don't possess the profession of generosity, but you attain the higher practice of the profession of generosity.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I'm just curious why. So, if we can practice bodhicitta and not have bodhicitta, like if an ordinary shmo like me can practice bodhicitta, I don't have any realization of emptiness. I mean, aside from the like really rudimentary, I just understand the words. So how is it that it changes here, like where it says they attain the practice? Before that they are not practicing? Or, I mean, do you see what I'm saying? Like bodhicitta is also the conjoined of compassion and emptiness, right?
Bodhicitta?
So, yeah.
No. 닝제도 니거를 닝제도 동니 니가 보고를 가서 정주 셈라. 장주 셈라. 닝제도 동니 손도 보고를
대고 말.
뭔 말이에요?
이나 셈소마 TV에 자주 좀 봐요. Right?
Yeah, maybe.
이나 나마라시다 비세 is 셈소마. He's a 소마 비비야.
I see. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
they need to compassion, but not necessarily emptiness.
So, but when you, when it means, like for the correct definition that it's giving here, that you attain the practice of the higher practice of the perfection of giving, like, why does it say attain? Does it mean that you couldn't practice the perfection of giving before? I guess that's my main question. Can you not practice it unless you are an Arya?
No, you can practice. That's what we said, right?
But why does it say attained here?
Yeah, so
That's because attained seems like you didn't have it before. You just got it now.
저라고 터봤어요. 이거 터봐야 말았어. 단다 터봤어 그래서.
단다 파시
사람다 저런 것도 터봐야 말아.
대문 말.
양념시라고 터봐야 말았어.
대라고 톱세한테 파시 찌르시는 거 봤어. 파시 찌르는 양을 가르디 마트나 다시 마트 도와야겠어.
내가 다 짐바디 다 파진 주인 안에다 짐바디 때문에 사람도 도와라.
어디?
다 막이 저런도 저런 거 도와 말았어.
시타에. 토에. 나 나한테 파시 찌르는 다 짐바트 좀 서는 가르디 마트나 또 짐바트 걸 많이 내리세. 파시 찌르는 거.
I didn't understand that.
So you can achieve, you can attain the practice of the perfection of generosity even on the path of accumulation or path of seeing. Path of perfection. But in the first ground of the path of seeing, you achieve more. You attain more practice, higher training, higher practice, more practice of the perfection of generosity. Other than among the 10 perfections, you achieve more of the generosity than like eating or anything else. But you do have, 틀린 거 파지 냠는 열아.
요요. 그건 틀린 요요. 옛날에 틀린 냠는다 저번 따왔나? 다시 맞고 쳐.
Right. So in the Bodhisattva on the first ground also have the practice of morality, right? They practice morality.
Yeah.
They practice wisdom also, right?
Yeah.
So they practice the means, method, everything, right? But what is more in their mind is how they define it. So in the first, you have the more practice of generosity. In the second, you have more practice of morality. In the third, you have more practice of the effort and so forth.
So it's kind of like the predominance.
Yeah, the predominance, yeah. So which one is more,
So the clause, like among the 10 perfections.
Among the 10 perfections,
yeah. Okay.
Right? You were clear? Yes?
Why is generosity in the path of seeing? Why is it not in the path of meditation? I may have missed this from last class.
짐바디 가르치는 토랑어요. 가르치는 거는 말았어.
아니요. 그거는 매부터지 말. 그거는 열이었어. 파시 찌르는 집바 담보로 왔어. 해다 사치라지 파시 찌르는 잘 놀고. 열이 나 티나가 쪼르다 고시면 냠네 제도 파시 찌르는 다 냠네 그때 제도 그랬어.
Yeah, there is generosity in the path of meditation. It's just that in the first ground, which is in the path of seeing, so during the first ground, because among the 10 perfections, the generosity is the first one, so that's what it applied, the first one on the first ground.
내가 너무 갈라서 뭐 되나? I don't know what we eat.
Roti. And then aloo.
Then some other maybe.
And onion.
Onions. In India something. Mother 정체로 소요 식사해지. in a way.
Well, so when you're eating, when you're eating, a chapati with a sabji and some kind of achar. So first, whatever you pick, first you pick the roti, and then you pick the curry, and then the achar like that. So why not pick the achar first?
So the example is it's like generosity is the roti.
Yeah.
So generosity,
what Geshe was saying, generosity among the 10 perfections, generosity is the first one.
Right.
That's why it comes on the first ground.
Yeah. But my question was like, I go by this diagram. Okay. So this diagram is a line, and the generosity is on this side of the line of the seeing. There's only one thing. So that's why I was curious. That's all.
Oh, I see.
So I was wondering why is there a line in the middle?
You have the chart?
I don't know the
남주 제가 사탕보다 고놈도 뛰려고 그래요. 근데 저는 사탕보다 돼. 사탕보 라디카 가서 고놈 뛰려고 그래요. 이나다 배전대 시작하면 돈을 뛰려고 그래요. 같이 돈을 나 받치면 나는 거니까 이렇게 고놈 나 받치는 거니까 이랬어요. 이거 사탕 뛰고 그랬어요. 사탕 이거 뛰고.
사탕 물로 사탕 보고는 받치면 너무 좀 어디가 말아.
대대샤도 그래서 그러다 사탕을 뛰어야 되는 것도 다 찌르죠. 고놈도 찌르죠. 돈도 뛰게 배워서 그래요. 근데 저는 뛰는 거
받치 매람제 남들 남제가 되네 받치 매람제 남들 남들 되네 고놈 산이 벌려고 그래.
대대로다 고놈나 사탕 고놈 찌르. 사탕 고놈 받치는 거 찌르. 사탕 돈 받치는 거 찌르. 대소당 남주 사탕을 받어야 돼. 고놈은 못 뛰는다고 했어.
말말 방법하나. 파는 거 찍어 있어. 서주대다 서주대 먼저 파는 샤워라. 파는 샤워에서 타는 찍어 있어. 뒤에도 타는 찍어라. 이나다 사 당보대한 타는 고람다 파 내려 왔어.
도나 바디가 고람 도나. 고람 도리 사도 고람 받치는 거. 근데 나만 방법으로 써니까. 근데 사는 거 고람나 사도 고람 받치는 거. 대단 남주 찾아는 남도랑 안에 빠지면 들어. 남도랑 안에 나저할 때 빠지면 봐라. 빠져나 봐라.
남편이 좀 봐.
남편이 좀 봐야지.
남편이 좀 보는 걸 빠지면
빠지면 남을 봐라 그러와.
맞아. 빠질 사다 뭐 빠지면 안돼. 산님이 남도는 버리고 그래. 말아.
대박 말.
아니 그래. 빠지면 남편이 좀 보는 거 같지.
빠지면 남을 봐. 빠지면 남을 봐.
말다 사다 한번 입어 보든지.
산이와 대안을 남편이 봐.
냠천냠 보도 가래 가래 냠천 가래 받치면 나와.
사도 돈을 받치면 나와. 되는 돈을 맞지. 되는 돈을 제대로 지지. 되는 돈을 내가 봐줘. 다 대들 레치를 타고 우리 되는 앞에 있는 남성은 사도 돈을 받치면 봐. 너무 고난 돈을 와. 돈을 받치면 남자라니까 여자도 지지를 와. 다 대제에 아니 돈을 받 돈을 넣으러 톡해서마다 다 돈을 제대로 드셔고. 제대로 치시면 손은 속사하네. 다 고마워 받치면 즉 내들을 처럼 다 아파트니까 이렇게나 또 많이 반영하죠. 제대로 또 많이 반영하죠.
냠천을 가서 냠천을 받치면은 거고.
말 받치면 더 말.
받치면은 뭐.
남자랑 받치면 더 이제. 다시 너희 오늘도 담보 전화를 시봐. 전화를 돈이 가디 또 와서 콘통을 받으러.
그럼.
콘통을 잡고 그러와. 근데 돈을 받았다 여자같이 되니 또 받으니 딱 받치면 그러더라. 돈을 받치면 저러고. 근데 받치면 어떻게 대도 그다 가디 보나? 대나로 쳐서 말어. 받치면 어때? 그러니까 다 전화 치주치고 이시에 돈을 받치면 돈을 넣으러 쓰니까 이놈아서 찍어야.
네, 남들하면 되는 제대로 나온다.
다 내는 제대로 돼요.
제대로 일단 사람 제대로.
일단 돈을 제대로 지. 되는 손은 속사. 다 사tumbu 고놈 거기 빠야 리바서 때 제 동안에 나와서니 가디 대빵 미니 그대로나 다 고놈 좀 그래 고놈 빠지는 줬어 다때
아니 받침면은 나는 말아 받침면은 받침면하다. 말다 내 돈이가 냠바 샤바네 받침면하다.
어디 돈 냠바 샤바네 받침면하다.
다 사람 몰라.
대대 사통 니자죠. 사통 거는 받침면하다. 돈 받침면 이거. 대대는 사통 못 해야 돼. 거는 사통라도 가서 해야 돼. 거는 뒤로. 돈은 지만.
근데 이제는 저 담아면 말은 담아면 그래. 사당 거대 가면서 나라도 가서라. 하여튼 되는 이제 몇 파전이면 쳐다봐 봐라. So it looks like the first ground, which is the very joyful, right? It's called the very joyful ground. So that is it kind of is pervading, both on the path of seeing and the path of meditation. So it is in the path of seeing, but before it ends, it goes up to the path of meditation. So there is some part of the first ground in path of meditation, and then you complete there. So in some part of the first ground is in the path of meditation, and then the rest of the ground are all in the path of meditation.
Okay.
Right?
Got it.
Confused?
No.
They come later, okay? Later more the details. Now we just go through, okay? Whatever there. So the mother self-study was. And then that was that agenda. Sanibana Sachi Pala, that partial religion door, Ichibaris.
And so now the definition you can just follow, except the only difference is that higher practice of the profession of generosity in the first one, and then in the next one you say higher practice of the professional ethic, and then the third one you say just higher practice of the profession of effort or patience, and then the fourth one you just the higher practice of the profession of effort, and then the higher practice of the profession of concentration, wisdom, and then there's the means, the power, prayer, and wisdom. The last one again. And so he said, yes, having applied the 10 professions, from the second ground to the 10th ground, the last is conjoined with the higher practice of the profession of exalted wisdom. So hence, it is of similar type to thoroughly differentiate exalted wisdom of the 10th ground. When the first ground, very joyful, is divided, there are three: the uninterrupted path of the first ground, the uninterrupted, the path of the release of the first ground, and an exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise of the first ground, which is neither of these two. And then now, among these three divisions, the first one is what? The uninterrupted path of the first ground, right? And now it's talking about the definition of that uninterrupted path of the first ground is an exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise of the first ground, which is in meditative equipoise, one pointedly on suchness, and serves as the actual antidote to the apprehension of true existence which corresponds to it. And then again, that uninterrupted path of the first ground, when divided, there are two: uninterrupted path of the path of seeing. It says here now, right? The uninterrupted path of the path of meditation. So there are two. And so there are two uninterrupted paths, in the first ground. So the uninterrupted path of the seeing and the uninterrupted path of the meditation.
사등고 받지만 강릉은 시랑은 거지 대서 끄덕이는 게 시바 사등고 통화 받지만 생이스 하든 was.
So the definition of uninterrupted path is the path of seeing of the first ground. This is that which is an uninterrupted path of the first ground and which serves as an actual antidote to the acquired. So that's the difference now again. Acquired apprehension of true existence, which corresponds to it.
그래. 다 델파잖아. 다 통합해서 시작했지만 줄었어. 가지 내지부터 줄어서 통합해서 줄어서 이제.
And so then it says, when these are divided, there are 8 forbearances. This uninterrupted path, now the path of seeing of the first ground and the uninterrupted Mahayana path of the path of seeing are mutually inclusive.
가지 단지 시와질라면 된지다 가지 다
소박이요.
소박이고 다 소박지에도 다 누가 취세
저리 되잖아요.
그때는 살아. 보다 된지 바이자 가지 다 대서 뜯어 인기니 시바 다 걸리러 오는 것은 내가 또 가다지 가는 거 먹는 거 lapsai 봐서 사는 받지만 어서 걸리지 못나 통화 받지만.
So again, also before, when we talked about the path of seeing and path of meditation, right? So what are the, what is the kind of delusion that is abandoned, by the uninterrupted path, the path of seeing? And so, we talked about acquired apprehension of true existence. Acquired, means which acquired, which is like what, which you created yourself, like kind of you created yourself because of certain kind of view, right? You brought it, something like that. Intellectual. So intellectual apprehension of true existence. And then there was another one, right? What is the other one? Innate, right? Innate one. So yeah, the acquired and innate, and apprehension of the true existence, which corresponds to it. Yeah.
너도 제가 먹어도 되지가 않아서 내지가 다 뜨거워서 내서 그러면 거기서 좀 되고 되고
And so we will say, that the Vaibhashikans, and Sautantikans, so those who assert the view of the Vaibhashikas and Sautantikas, they believe or they assert the true existence, right? The true existence of the phenomena. And so but according to this school, apprehending or grasping at true existence, is a delusion, is a obscuration, right? And so there from our view, so their grasping at the true existence, will be the intellectual, acquired, grasping at true existence.
식당 전박 끝나서 수수고 이제 싸먹 따니지 단대죠 전박 끝나서 이거도 그래요.
And so any kind of apprehension, intellectual apprehension, it is you apprehend, you apprehend the certain things to be such and such because of your own view. You believe in true existence, so therefore you apprehend, the things to be existing truly.
수수고 이제 싸먹 따니 이게 싸는 게 따다니서.
And so you because of your view, because of your belief, so whatever I see, whatever I believe is true, and so therefore this is how it is. But in reality, it's not true, and so therefore that kind of apprehension or grasping, will be intellectual grasping.
Okay. 다 어느 사람은 돈 받지만 간대를 토크에서 나시 다 오려도 당하고 때때로 나서 왔다 갔다 되거든. 돈 받지만 하셔야 돼. 맞아. 영어 치료 좀 이시는데 동반 남아셔야 돼.
And so how you achieve the uninterrupted path, the path of seeing, is like when you are in the spring mundane level of the path of preparation, and you go into a meditation on emptiness. So whenever the person has generated renunciation in his or her mind, then the person has entered into the path. So if that renunciation is conjoined with bodhicitta, then the person enters into the Mahayana path. So the first minor path of accumulation, right? And so then as you progress in the path, and then when you eventually achieve the special insight into emptiness, then you have achieved the path of preparation. And then in the path of preparation, there are 4 different levels of the path of preparation, right? So the first one is called the heat, then the peak, and the forbearance, and supreme mundane. So during the supreme mundane level of the path of preparation, you enter into meditation on emptiness. So you enter into a meditation on emptiness. So you are meditating on emptiness. The moment you come to realize that emptiness directly, then you have achieved the path of seeing. So that's the first, the initial level of the path of seeing, and that's the path of that's the uninterrupted path, and the path of seeing, and that itself, the direct realization of emptiness, right? So that itself becomes the antidote to the acquired apprehension of the true existence. And so, so then you keep on meditating, right? So that becomes antidote. So you keep on meditating on the emptiness in order to abandon that, in order to destroy that grasping, the acquired grasping at true existence. When you have destroyed or overcome that acquired apprehension of the true existence, then you have achieved the path of release of the path of seeing. And so all this happens in one meditation session. And so you went into a meditation on emptiness during the supreme mundane level of the path of preparation. And then when you realize, then while meditating on that, you come to realize emptiness directly. With that realization of emptiness directly, you eliminate that grasping, the acquired grasping at the true existence. So all these 3 happens in one meditation session.
Okay. You can meditation, then maybe you choose them one by one.
But one session can be over many months or many years.
Oh yeah.
So now, once you have achieved the path of release, right? You have abandoned that, and then you achieve the path of release, and then after that you come out of the meditation session. So you come out of the path of release, from the path of release, of the path of preparation, path of seeing, then you come out of that, and you go into a post-meditative equipoise now.
Then you finish it,
and so now you have done all the things that you are supposed to do in the path of seeing, and so now you can relax.
Then now you jump the second step. Today the
so it's not really relaxing, you are getting into preparation for the next step. So you are preparing here to achieve the second level, and so here you have to accumulate all the merits required to achieve that high level of the realization.
And then it's on the Tsosa, number 2, number Pasha, issue Tsosa. The Chini,
And so, so then so you have anyway. So you're in a post-meditative equipoise, and here you are accumulating merit, and that is required in order to achieve the higher level of realization. And so in the post-meditative equipoise, you create the accumulation of merit, and then you go into meditative equipoise, to create more the accumulation of wisdoms. And so anyway, so in the first part, during the first ground, you overcome the acquired or intellectual apprehension of the true existence, right? And now in the second, from the second ground, there are 9 grounds left, right? And so each ground overcome a delusion, a different level of delusions. I mean, not delusions, the innate grasping, innate apprehension of true existence. So this one overcame the acquired. So now the innate apprehension of true existence. So that is divided into 9 different levels. So the innate apprehension of the true existence divided into 9 different levels.
Yes, true existence, is that reality, or what is true existence?
The existence of Kurukulla. The Buddha was in the Kurukulla.
Grasping at true existence.
Yeah.
You mean the grasping at true existence, or just the true existence?
That word itself, true existence.
True existence. The Buddha.
다 많이 봐서 이해받으면 들었어. 실수도 대바트거든요. 대바트가 좀 배워야 돼. 다한테 대바트가 이해받으면 들었어. 대바트 봤어.
So not of the two words.
보다는 막 들어. 그런지
So true existence, is grasping. We call it usually we call it grasping at true existence. Means like whatever you see, you think that's true. So according to this view, there is no true existence. It doesn't exist truly. It doesn't exist truly. It doesn't exist truly, which means that the things do not exist the way you see it, the way it appears to you. This appears to exist from its one side. This appear to exist without dependent cause and condition to our eye, to our ordinary eyes. But it's not existing in that way. It depends on cause and conditions, the past and so forth. To our eye, it just appears as by itself, solid by itself, without depending on anything else. It has depended on so many things, so that's what it means, like, true existence. So there's no truly existing table from its one side, like that.
Thank you.
그냥 또 아마지 말이야. 무슨 남자다 어다 뭐 아마레스 주 뭐라는 들어가는 도구로 왔어. 아마세도 불러든 아마 용어로 왔어.
So in a simple way, you can say like a mother. A mother. It feels like mother. She's mother by herself, and without depending on anything. She's a mother by herself. It's not like that, right? Mother has to depend on a child. If there's no child, there cannot be mother. Right? The mother has to depend on a child. She's not existing by herself. She has to, for her to be mother, she has to depend on a child, like that. So same with the child. The child cannot be child without a mother. So it's there's all this interdependent, but to our ordinary view, it appears as exists from their own side by themselves.
Right? Also, tall, short, handsome, ugly, beautiful, ugly, all depends each other. There's not single one. Oh, this is very handsome. The other one can better one. Then this is not very handsome. What are the name? What is it? Oh God. 다 고난도 땅도 주시면 가려가는 거. 다 고난 받는 것이라.
Thank you, 꼴보세요.
그 랭킹을 넣는 것이 다시 막 고난과 가려가는 거라서. 근데 내가 그때 어디서 사도 빠지면 대단한 시바지에 대다 대신 돈 빠지면 되지. 오다 터치바라다 되지 되는 말까지 되지 돈 빠지면 그래.
선녀들이
사도 못했다.
내가 서버게.
서버게. 근데 돈을 빠지면 서버게는 거 빠지면 다 빠지면 되는 거라고. 근데 대다 사도 오지. 대다 사도 돈 빠지면 시바제 서버게나 사도 돈 빠지면 되지. 서버게다가 얘는 돈 빠지면 뭐 제리다. 다시 봐마로 빠지면 말하고 그래. 고민다 말하고. 아니 사토 바치마노 강마 저런 거지 대서 레지지 이게 시바 사토 고노 바치마노 지 대다 사토 그렇게 타마시에 사토 고노 바치마노 되지 다때 집을 따는 고노로
있었던 거죠.
근데 네가 사토니까 네가 사토
So anyway, like I said, there are 9 different levels of this innate apprehension of true existence, and so that will come in the part of meditation later when we talk more about that. But anyway, right now here is talking about the uninterrupted path of the first ground, right? An uninterrupted path of the path of seeing and an uninterrupted path of the path of meditation. So there are 2, and the definition of the uninterrupted path of the path of seeing. Of the first ground is that which is an uninterrupted part of the first ground and which serves as an actual antidote to the acquired apprehension of true existence which corresponds to it. When these are divided, there are 8 forbearances. And the uninterrupted minor part of the seeing, this and uninterrupted minor part of seeing are mutually inclusive. And then the definition of the uninterrupted part of the path of meditation of the first ground, this is that which is an uninterrupted part of the first ground and which serves as an actual antidote to the innate apprehension of the true existence which corresponds to it.
다 주인이라 되시는 양반이 다들 모두 고나도 저걸 가려고 그랬던 것을 제가 안 보시고 고는데 주인이라 되시는 양반이 여자식 강아지 라다 여자 특징이 받침 뭐는지 뭐까지
and then it says, and uninterrupted of the part of the upper part of meditation of the first ground, which is generated at the last moment of the first ground, are mutually inclusive. Right? And then the definition of the path of release of the first ground is that which is an exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise, one-pointedly on suchness and an exalted wisdom of the first ground which has abandoned the obstructions corresponding to the uninterrupted path which arose in the same session and of meditative equipoise with it. And then it says, when divided, there are 8 knowledges of the path of seeing of the Mahayana. And so it's all talking about the path of seeing now. And so all these, the 8 forbearances and 8 knowledges, and so it's all in meditative equipoise. And so that which is neither of these 2, right? So that which is neither the uninterrupted path, the path of seeing of the first ground, nor uninterrupted path, the path of seeing of the first, what's this? Path of release, the path of release of the path of seeing of the first ground. And it says that is, for example, is for instance the path of seeing, of the Mahayana, which is in one-pointed meditative equipoise on the selflessness of a person. So not emptiness, the selflessness, right, of a person, and a path of seeing of the Mahayana, which is in one-pointed meditation equipoise on the emptiness of duality, and an exalted wisdom of the first ground, which is in meditative equipoise one-pointedly on emptiness, which is subsequent again to the exalted wisdom of subsequent attainment of the Mahayana path of seeing. And then is this definition of an exalted wisdom of subsequent attainment of the first ground. The subsequent attainment is what? What we talk about, the post-meditative equipoise, right? So after that session. subsequent attainment of, so the definition of the definition of an exalted wisdom of subsequent attainment of the first ground is a clear realization of the truth of the Mahayana, which has arisen from a path of release of the first ground, and which has become a manifest in the continuum of a person who possesses that in her continuum. And so, if it is a subsequent attainment, the subsequent attainment of the first ground, then it is necessarily the subsequent attainment of the path of seeing. So there is no subsequent attainment of the first ground that is part of meditation.
This is a little confusing. Okay, little. 다른 가지데 뭐를 합되는 거지 가지 사토는 통화 받침마다 통화 제도시 선택이 되죠. 받침을 합사인 것, 대신만을 하인 것, 다른 제도시에서.
So we're talking about the first ground, right? So the uninterrupted path, the path of release, and then the neither of those two. That's in the meditative equipoise. And now this is talking about the exalted wisdom of the subsequent attainment of the Mahayana path of seeing. So these are all in the Mahayana path of seeing.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. When it says there are 8 knowledges of the path of seeing, are those 8 knowledges in that paragraph that follows that sentence?
No.
No.
No. Where are they?
You gotta get a dictionary.
Oh.
Good enough.
시바게도 가야 돼. 서바게도 시바게 가야 돼.
저번째 세대 아니 받침을 없었어요. 시바제는 마음을 없었어요. 대자가데 모두 대지마다 줄여져야 그래서 다들 나도 배정하는 데 저도 몸으로
So the 8 forbearances and 8 knowledges, right? The 8 forbearances fall into the uninterrupted path, and then the 8 knowledges fall into the path of release.
Right.
So these are in conjunction, with the 16 attributes of the Four Noble Truths. And so it's not mentioned. There are 16 attributes, the Four Noble Truths. And so it's not mentioned in the text here. It will be very confusing if we were to go through that.
Okay. But
It will create more
it's in
confusion.
relation to the
This matters here. Here there's no conflict here. Anyway, 시바 저바제는 받침만 시바제는 나만이 받을 거예요.
So if just for now, if you just understand that forbearances and 8 forbearances and 8 knowledges, 8 forbearances are in the uninterrupted path, and 8 in the knowledges and in the path of release. You just understand that much. That's good enough for now.
The next line.
How about next class?
My question is about the ones which are neither the Parche Melam or the non-dual. So is it only because, I'm just curious, I mean, I noticed the definition, the only difference is the object of the single-pointed absorption or single-pointed concentration. So it's chuni for the first one, and then for the other one it's like the selflessness of person and, I don't know, non-dual emptiness or something. Yeah. Yeah. So is it that you can't meditate on the selflessness of person or the I don't know, non-dual emptiness unless you have the other one? Why are they in that order? That's my question, basically.
대지권을 많이 받아. 같이 대지권 그래. 다 그러나 대전 돈은 여자 이시 대전이 돈은 받침을 해서 넣어놓은 거니나 돈이라 쓰이는 게 말이죠 이거 그러서.
Yeah, it is from the object's perspective. So from the side of the object. So in the definition, of the uninterrupted path or the path of release, it says, it's meditating on
suchness, I guess.
So that which is in the uninterrupted path of the first ground, do you see the definition there? The exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise of the first ground, which is in meditative equipoise pointed on suchness. Right?
Yeah.
So it has to be on emptiness, right? So here it's saying this meditating on the single pointed meditative equipoise on the selflessness of person. So that's a different object, yeah.
But then
yes, from the perspective of the object.
And then Niton?
Niton is the emptiness of duality. 你懂的，的群里的考不少的，东西嘛这个时候的，你懂的。
대단 이제 이 통화된 가서 가로. 이 도시가 나도 쳐다고 메시지를 해야 돼. 와서 대단 내 돈이 깨는 거. 이 돈은 주도하는 거 같은 데 있다 그래 와서. 대단 내 돈이 깨는 거.
So the emptiness of duality, right? So emptiness of seeing the subject and object as different, different substance. So it's of the same substance, and so when you see those as two different, then that is wrong. That's according to the minority school, and from this from this school's perspective, it's not. That's not the correct view. That's not emptiness. So from here, the emptiness is emptiness of true existence. So that's what it has to be. And so when you're meditating on the emptiness of duality, then that is not meditating on emptiness.
So this the newcomer is about samsampas or what? About the mind only?
Mind only, yes. So yeah, mainly it's by mind only schools. Yeah. They are.
And the selflessness of person, is that also for some particular school, or why is it not able to produce the uninterrupted path?
So yeah, so this one, of course, is according to the lower schools view, where they also assert, the selflessness of person. So that's saying the person, doesn't exist self-sufficient or substantially. And so the person existing, person being empty of existing self-sufficiently or substantially, is the selflessness of person. Okay. So when you're meditating on that, you're not really meditating on emptiness.
Yeah. So these are both useful to meditate on, but they are not actually emptiness, right?
They are not actually. Yeah, of course it's useful, it's beneficial, but it's not the real emptiness. Meditating on emptiness. So then after that it says, right? So then which is in meditative equipoise. Exalted wisdom of the first ground, which is in meditative equipoise, one pointed on emptiness, which is subsequent attainment, and a subsequent again to the exalted wisdom of subsequent attainment of the Mahayana path of seeing. So why is, do you have any doubt on that? So here you are meditating on emptiness, right? Single pointed on emptiness, which is a subsequent again to the exalted wisdom of subsequent attainment of the Mahayana path of seeing. So why is that not either of the uninterrupted or path of release?
But the subsequent attainment one is not but it says that, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. Subsequent attainment is when you are done meditating, right? And it's the knowledge you have which you attained from that session of meditation, right? So how can it be the, how can they say that?
The meditation emptiness, that is the Satu Mother was, Tolanda was, that Yamada Tobanera was, that Kajin Pachimano Karma Barazana.
So let's say the path of seeing,
very easy. You gotta think.
In the path of seeing, there are two, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
The one in the path of seeing that is in the meditative equipoise, or subsequent attainment, right?
Yeah.
So the exalted wisdom of the meditative equipoise and exalted wisdom of subsequent attainment.
Yeah.
And so the subsequent the exalted wisdom of the meditative equipoise is the path that where you single pointedly meditate on emptiness, right?
Right. Yeah.
So that is the subsequent. That is the exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise.
Right.
Right. And so the exalted wisdom of the subsequent attainment, is when you are not meditating on that. emptiness single-pointedly, right? So here, you are meditating single-pointedly on emptiness, but why is it not exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise? So if it is exalted in a meditative equipoise, then it has to be, and it has to, I mean, so if it's in single-pointedly meditating on emptiness, then it has to be the on another path, or the path of release, right?
But once you have the subsequent attainment, because that one was also in one session. The Parche Melam is in one session, right?
Yeah.
So once it's over, then you have the subsequent attainment. And then you can't go back, because the one session is over. So then even if you enter the, re-enter the single-pointed
You're no longer there.
Yeah. Is that right? That's right.
대로 그거는 동업하시는 말고 여기 굉장히 듣지고 그러고 그 아주 대파서 말고 대파가 대대 그러나 제도시랑 양주 파셔 그러거든 대제도 파시면 여기 드리시 제도 지키고 그러고
Yeah, that's right.
You
understood?
좀더 지지하고 싶어서
So you understand here, right? This is what we're talking about. So this is the meditative equipoise, on pointedly on emptiness, which is subsequent again to the exalted wisdom of the subsequent attainment of the minor path of seeing. So you have the meditative equipoise, and then during the meditative equipoise you have uninterrupted path, and you have the path of release, and then you have the net of those two, right? And then after that, then you come out of that meditation. You are in the subsequent attainment, and now, right? So you are in the post-meditative equipoise, and then again, during that time or afterwards, you enter into a meditation on emptiness, single-pointedly.
Or generosity.
Right? So that is not neither of those two, right? Not neither of those two, because that you already have achieved. You're out of there already.
Yes.
You cannot go back.
Yes.
But you're still meditating on. You're still on the first ground. You're still meditating and single-pointedly on emptiness. But neither of those two, because you have already passed that and you cannot go back there.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, you got it?
Yes.
I hope it's okay. It's a little complicated. Not bad.
So then where does generosity come into play? Like in the sense, the first part is the super mundane, also you're getting out of there. And that's the first part of the seeing. And then there is the second part of the seeing where you're playing with generosity, you're actually trying to understand it as much as possible, right?
So where do you think it will play? Where do you think generosity will be played?
Will be played.
Yeah, where do you think it will be played?
Where you are, when the emptiness of generosity, right?
Not emptiness of generosity.
No, sorry.
Practice of generosity.
The practice of generosity.
Yeah.
But it's going to be played in the meditation of that.
It cannot be doing meditation, right? 프랑스는 다 진배념을 가르치게 됐어. 사람 뭐다 돈을 값으로 진배념을 가르치게 됐어.
In a way, it'll be played.
So you can't practice, when you're practicing generosity, like
you have
let's
to
say,
action. It has to be action.
Yeah. So when you're in a meditative equipoise, you're meditating on emptiness all the time, right?
Right.
You can't practice generosity.
Right.
So it has to be during the subsequent attainment.
Right.
Meaning like during the post-meditative equipoise.
Like the break.
Right? During the break, yeah. So when you are accumulating merit, you engage in the practice of generosity, strongly in order to accumulate more merit. So that's when you engage.
Yeah.
That's when you play that practice of the generosity.
So going back to my old question, is this why generosity is here? Because it is an action. It is to be played, right? Versus everything else, ethics, patience, joyful effort, that's not to be played. That's kind of more to be kind of internalized. Is that why is it in meditation versus seeing? It seems like it.
In meditation versus what? Meditation?
Path of seeing. So because generosity is something which is physical action, right? Versus all the others, like ethics and all, they're not kind of physical actions, they're more like mental actions.
No, like we said, the first ground, goes into the part of meditation as well.
Yes.
So there is a generosity in the meditation as well.
Yes.
Part of meditation. And then there is a subsequent. 고람라 이거라. 산이보라고 저도시 사스바도 저라. 데데가 없을 때는 인지문지 공자되고 말아. 그러다 냠내 신달을 주고.
신달을 그만 주셔. 내가 돈 갖고서 인지문지 또 받는 냐 봐서.
So when you, again, you should not misunderstand that when you're saying part of meditation, you're only meditating. It's not that. Where you meditate more on emptiness, but you still have to engage in other practices. So there is a subsequent attainment or post-meditative equipoise on every ground. So in the third ground, which is the first part of meditation, or fourth ground or fifth ground, which are in the part of meditation, on all these grounds have a post-meditative equipoise. So during the post-meditative equipoise, you engage in other practices in order to accumulate merit. So you are playing all sorts of practices there, including generosity and other things.
위kan 지나기 시다 내가 만 가지고 있는 모조 제시를 해봤어. 얘나 지나기가 쪼라데 가서 좋았어.
So just like you have many talents, you can do many things. You can speak, you can write, you can ride, you can drive, and all these things. But your main thing is to cook. It's like that. So there is a certain kind of practice they do mainly, but they do, of course, they do other practices as well.
Okay. That comes slowly, read again, think. Okay.
Thank you.
This is not easy. This is who become, we call the Geshe. Very, everybody's always really, we call three great masters. They study that same. They are not different. We study here, our community. It's really good. You guys have a very good opportunity to study, to think about this. 근데 동반이 고마워서 동반이 꺼내지 도발로서니까 쓰는 거 속시 싸우고 그러는 거 지금 고르세요.
So I don't remember which text, but I have heard or seen in some texts where it says that even if you are not able to meditate on emptiness, just having some doubt on emptiness, you accumulate a great amount of merit.
일단은 share 다 공부, we talk about emptiness, we meditation, you guys meditate on emptiness, bodhicitta compassion, very hard work, very good benefit, very hard work.
I think maybe Shigella.
Shigella?
Yeah, there's some verse like that in Shigella. If you just have a doubt, then he says like the foundation of samsara shakes.
Oh yeah,
that's
cool.
So you must have shaken so many times.
I don't feel it.
No wonder we had an earthquake,
All right.
a few weeks ago.
Maybe someone chewed bodhicitta and they shake.
Don't meditate on emptiness too much.
Yeah. I'll try to spare you guys.
Okay, anyway, thank you everybody. Now it's
Thank
time.
you.
Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, page 8.